news. So, our first topic is a bit of a sad one.
Bit of a sad one, Justin.
Bit of a sad one. Do I sound like a newscaster or something?
No, I just felt like talking to a newscaster.
No, it's I'm interested.
I was watching like Star Wars, the Clone Wars show.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of that, they always have this kind of like news intro. So I've got kind of that on my mind. But go on.
That's good. So our first topic is a bit of a sad one, where Platinum Games, working with Microsoft. It was funny.
This is mine, right? Yes.
Yeah. So their game Scalebound is canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Which is such a bummer.
Monster Hunter.
I think this is way bigger of a deal than like most other games that like get canceled. We're just sort of like, oh, whatever, we were expecting that. Like, Scalebound had center stage at 2 major conferences, like, which is insane to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's like, I can't really think of another game that was at this stage of development and had like this amount of like hype and like awareness.
I think is the main thing. Because I mean, there's games like StarCraft Ghost and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like,
right. So all of this surprised me, but I didn't actually see why did they say that it got
like for political reasons. Wasn't
so
it?
I think
Trump,
the statement, the statement,
not
was
in Trump's
just
America.
The statement for Microsoft just said they have chose to cease development. There's a lot of working theories. Nobody's actually saying why it happened, but the developer of it, Hideki Kamiya of Devil May Cry and Beautiful Joe fame, he was tweeting about it afterwards, and people were sort of getting the idea that the game changed forms pretty drastically from what they had wanted it to be because of influence from Microsoft. Like, Microsoft basically told them it had to be a 4-player co-op game, and that wasn't the way the game was designed originally. So that second demo that we saw where they're fighting the giant crab
E3
thing,
they were like 4 players.
yeah, apparently the working theory is that features like that were being forced into the game and drastically changing the way that it was working. So I think it basically put Platinum Games in a rough spot where they were like, we're trying to do everything that you're telling us to do, but it's like altering what we originally made for this game or whatever, and it ended up, I guess, not being fun or not working as well as it needed to or something like that.
It's weird though, because I'm hearing kind of like, I'm reading stuff like that, but I'm also reading things where it's not, where they're saying it's Platinum's fault.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's difficult to know, like his comments, like we're sort of saying like,
oh yeah, like
it is just, and maybe he's just not trying to throw blame around, but it just sounds like whatever form this game was in, it was just not up to par. Like, it was just not at a standard that anyone was happy with, and they were just kind of like, you know what? Fuck it.
I think what's weird about this in particular, though, is, I mean, we are coming off of a year where 2 games that were 10 years in development came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, why would they choose to cancel this game rather than just, like, extend the life cycle of it? Like, maybe Microsoft
they saw
wasn't
what
willing
Last Guardian
to...
was like, and then they were like, we don't want that.
Well, I mean, that's very true. I mean,
It's also Sony.
It's kind of hard
Last Guardian wasn't so bad.
to figure who's like at fault there, but it's just a shame overall.
Well, I mean, there might be more pressure on them because this was an exclusive.
Yeah.
You know, like, they didn't want to have this big exclusive. No, yeah.
They just threw all their support behind that. Just kept pushing it forward.
Yeah, but it's like if they had a timeline for it, if it's something that they were like, "Hey, we want this out in 2017," and Platinum Games was like, "There's no fucking way this game's coming out in 2017."
They're also working on Neo too, right? Or not Neo, Nier.
Nier Automata, yeah, and that's kind of like what they're resting on. Like that game needs to do well for Platinum because I think they're just in a rough spot right now.
It looks good. That.
Yeah, they haven't had like a solid...
Oh, no, the demo for Nier is doing really well. Yeah, I haven't... It's installed... Really cool. I told everyone on stream last night that I would play it the next time I'm on stream. Yeah.
So this kind of raises the question, like, who owns the rights to Scalebound? Like, maybe there could be another publisher that picks it up.
It would be really interesting if something like that happened, because one of the tweets that Kamiya had was like, it was something translated to the effect of like, fuck this exclusive bullshit, basically. Not that exactly, I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically talking about something about the exclusivity that was like a problem.
Watch Kickstarter. It's gonna happen.
It would be really, I mean, we're talking like, I can't think of another company right now that has more like a better history of games than someone like Platinum. Even their duds people look past because their good games are so great. You know what I mean? Like, we can forgive a Legend of Korra for Bayonetta 2. You know what I mean? We can forgive, like...
Transformers Devastation
for Metal Gear Revengeance. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of...
That was a great game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of hard to be, like, really down on them, because I mean, they do make great games, and it's just a shame that this one that looked like it had a lot of promise. I mean, this was a game that Kamiya was saying from Jump Street. He's like, I want a game about dragons. Like, that's what he wanted to make.
I gotta say, I was really not impressed by the last E3s.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. But it's like, so even I thought about that, right? And I'm like, okay, that did suck, but like the last demo before we played Final Fantasy 15 looked like ass.
Yeah.
But like that game actually ended up being pretty good. You know what I mean? So
and
as
like,
much as it looked bad, the idea of it and the names behind it were enough for me to be like, I will still be excited for this, even though it demoed like shit at this conference. You know?
I'm just surprised, like, how far gone does a game have to be that you're like, it's not even worth it to try and fix it?
Sunk
like,
costs.
Yeah, right. It's like
it just doesn't matter at that point. It's like at the
That's
point of
true.
which they're looking at it right now, and they're like, well, this game is going to be in heavy development, taking up resources that we could probably be dedicating to, near. Then let's just pump everything. into
Well, it might be a thing where, like,
Microsoft.
if
Or
Microsoft
Microsoft,
is paying for the exclusivity, they could be like,
Well, we could
hey,
use that
we are going to
exclusivity
give
somewhere
you,
else.
and I'm using arbitrary numbers, $5 million. Make this game for $5 million. That's what you have to make this game. There you go. And they get to the point where they're like, we can't make it within this budget. We need more money. And if Microsoft's like, fuck that, we're not investing more money into this.
To both sides' credit, like I don't feel a lot of anger from either party. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like something was going on where they were both kind of like, there's like it could be a situation like that where we can't really.
Two
do
directors
anything
came
here.
together and they're playing the game. They're like, this is a
Well,
fun
you
either.
could have a Microsoft, like you could have Platinum saying like we can't make it for this cheap, and then Microsoft could be like, well, just let us play what you have, and they're like, okay, this really isn't fun, and they're like, sorry, this is the best that we could do, and then they're just like, all right, this isn't working out, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
which sucks.
Microsoft does have a few other exclusive games coming out, so they could be. This is what they said to
very
like.
many, though.
We're trying to focus on.
I was gonna say a few is the key word there,
Yeah.
because like when you and again, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody right now, but like when you say that Halo Wars 2 is one of your paramount games,
so we got
that's like, come on.
I looked up one time. I was
Can I get
like,
one of those waters,
I
please?
was in like an Xbox versus PlayStation debate with my coworker, and I said something about how many more exclusives there were for PlayStation. He's like, it's not that many more. So I went and like looked it up and printed him out a whole list, and like the Microsoft list ended here.
It's like
and the
almost
PlayStation.
two
It was like
when you're
it's
trying
like
to decide which
50
one
to
to
like
buy.
150.
Wow.
It's insane how many more exclusives there are on PlayStation than
like
Microsoft.
3 times.
I wrote it out for him too, and I like pinned it to his desk.
It was actually kind of close.
Yeah, I remember
It was kind of close like 2 years ago, and then last year was definitely PlayStation.
Well, you got to figure 90% of that stuff is like indies. You know what I mean? We're not talking AAA exclusives all over the place. So I think what could happen from something like this, like let's say, see, this is like the ownership thing that I keep thinking of. Like if somebody else picks it up, like if Microsoft did pay Platinum to make that game, and they invested their money, does Microsoft now own that code, or is Platinum Games sitting on it, and then someone like Sony or Activision or something can swoop in and say, we will give you the other $10 million you need to finish this game, and we're going to publish it for you and make a shit ton of money on it.
I guess it just depends on the arrangement in the back.
Yeah.
It could be either.
It's just a shame to see something like that go, because I think conceptually it was a great idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just sucks.
Conceptually, it's nothing like new, really. I mean, it's just
it just kind of sucks that even from the, it's like Xbox just doesn't have a lot going for it, and this new IP exclusive game.
The first time I saw it, I was kind of excited.
Oh no, it's a big deal. I mean, that's why everybody's like looking at this like, well, shit.
Well, so Xbox has Halo Wars 2, which was, I mean, it has the first one has a cult following, but it wasn't this like astronomically awesome game.
Yeah, totally.
You got your Sea of Thieves, which
that I'm actually genuinely excited for.
I'm very interested in it.
Yeah,
but it's not. I don't know. It's not a Horizon.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have Crackdown 3, which I don't even think is going to come out this year.
Well, I've heard this weird back and forth where some people are saying like. Shinobi on Twitter. Are you guys familiar with Shinobi?
Yeah.
Shinobi's so
back.
He
That's all I think about whenever I think about Shinobi.
Shinobi he's like a gaming insider who tends to like share information about the industry like ahead of time and is right about it like basically all the time.
Okay.
He was saying that like he knew that Scalebound was in a bad place, and he said that Crackdown is also having issues, not like he specifically said it, not anywhere near the level that Scalebound is dealing with, but they're still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I think it's probably maybe not a 2017 title, or maybe holiday 2017 if anything.
That game debuted 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard a damn word since.
Which is a shame, because I think that would be a huge deal for them.
Reminds me of The Last Guardian.
It had a really ambitious... Well, Last Guardian's 10 years. But,
yeah, I know, but like it would be... Continue.
It had a really ambitious idea with that like server sharing thing they had going on.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys see that?
Like the connected destruction or whatever.
Yeah,
like...
it's basically like borrowing power from Microsoft's like servers. So it's like you could be fighting in a world and all the buildings fall organically and stay that way. And if you're inside that building, you're dead. And it's like you can just collapse all these different things. There's kind of like a domino effect, like real physics. And it's really powerful and awesome. But I mean, it seemed
so cool.
It seemed pretty far fetched, but and at the time I thought like, man, they've got this like idea locked down.
Yeah,
but guess not. So
it just sounds like it may be a ways away. I don't think it's like in trouble. I think it's just like probably going to take some time for them to master. I mean, that is a first party title by definition. Like they're not going to let that not come out.
Is there anything else? I feel like I'm missing one for Xbox. I thought there was one more.
Cuphead.
Oh, yeah,
I think Cuphead.
Is that going to be exclusive for Xbox?
Yeah. That's an indie game though.
I know it
looks cool.
It does look cool.
It's like
it was a game of boss. Cool. It was a game of boss fights that they needed to figure out how to put a game around those boss fights.
You just throw platforms everywhere and put different backgrounds.
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
big shame for Scalebound. Hopefully we'll see.
Not saying that's easy.
Something better come back from that. I want to see Platinum Games get a win. I'm kind of a Platinum Games fanboy.
Maybe the Starbound devs will pick it up. They have a bunch of games named Bound.
Yeah.
They just add this to their collection.
There you go. All right, let's move on to the next topic.